Welcome back to Digiburst, guys. Today I'm going to be showcasing the deck that I took to the Undefeated at the very first Royal Knights Cup. It's really nice to see that they're doing it. This one was a free event for about 50 people. There was a couple of drops, but 50 people is a really good number to test out this deck, being the very first week of BT9. So I was undefeated. I'm taking second place because I did get one draw, but undefeated nonetheless. And with that, I took second place and I was able to score one of their mats. Really nice, considering only first and second place were the ones to get these mats. And with that, I'm just going to jump straight into it. Starting off with the eggs, we have one of the Tamers and four of the Digimon. I'm playing MetalGarurumon, of course, or Garurumon, as I like to call it. So these guys give plus 1k if you have 8 cards in hand or more, or Sunomon gives extra 1k if it is a Garurumon in name. Extra 1k is incredibly important because a lot of time you are doing risky swings with your ultimates, and you want to make sure they're as big as possible, so when they hit into security and they do their unsuspecting shenanigans, they will live with their checks. So definitely very good, the extra 1 bonus hit. Also very good just going into your Mega, because your Mega can be, 13, 14k, but they need to get over the 12k, 13k threshold that can sometimes be hidden in their security. On to rookies. We have 3 of the Searcher Digimon from BT9. On play, reveal top 3, add a Garurumon or Omnimon in name. I'll add a Garurumon and Omnimon in name. So really good to get all your pieces. Matching that, we've also got 3 of the starter deck Digimons. This one gives plus 1k. I think this guy was super underrated to get your Garurumons just a little bit beefier, so when they check security, they're not dying to anything that might match its DP. So I think these guys were super important in that regard. A lot of people are underrating him, but I think he definitely puts in work for this. So 3 and 3 there. 2 of the on play draw a card. This is one of the ones you just want to draw a card. It just floats into something for value. It's just generally good, especially when you just want Digimon in name for other effects that are going in once you either up that line. That's the Digimons in name. And then we've got Digimontcg Antibody. This one reveals 3, adds a Garuru or an Omnimon, and 1 X Antibody card among them, and then put the rest at the bottom. Really nice to go like hard play a Digimon, draw a card, then go into this, search more cards, draw a card. This way you can easily get your hand up to the 8 card threshold. So this is always online, as is this guy. And so is your EX1 MetalGarurumon, because we are playing the EX1 MetalGarurumon, because it is excellent as a cheap level 6 evolution. That's all of the rookies. That is 3, 6, 8, 12 rookies. So a little bit lower of a rookie count, but I am playing quite a few cards to make up for it. There's a lot of searching in this deck, so having fewer rookies is perfectly fine. In this tournament, we didn't play with Mulligans, so I didn't have an issue finding my rookie, at least on turn 2. There was a time where I didn't see a rookie in the first turn, but I was able to search it out or draw into it after turn 2. On the champions, we did have 4 of the Garurumon. This is inherent effect of draw a card when you swing. This is not once per turn, so you can get this effect multiple times if you swing multiple times with the same Digimon. It's really busted in that way. It can easily get you over the 8 card threshold, or even 12 or 16 card threshold to get into your MetalGarurumon really, really cheap. It's just excellent card. We've also got 3 of this Garurumon. This is a 1 cost evolution over a Digimon, so it's 2 cost Evo, and then you gain 1 memory back if it's on the board. It's 2 cost in Nursery because you don't get the effect off. The extra 1k also comes up to keep your Garurumon beefy. Just another thing with it, because this is Digimontcg Antibody, you won't be getting the memory back if you Evo it like this, because it has to be Digimon in name, and this is a Digimontcg Antibody, which just isn't a Digimon in name. So just remember that little ruling if you are to play this deck. Unfortunately, this guy is a little bit pricey because it is a promo back all the way back from like a couple of years ago. So it might be difficult to get your hand on these. If you're going to play this deck, I recommend picking these cards up right now before they get too pricey, because I think this deck is going to be a tier 1 competitor. And wrapping up the champions, we've got 4 of the Antibody one. Just super good for protecting your guy, because a lot of time when you smack with your Garurumons, they can be a little bit weenies. So to protect your guys in battle, this inherent effect's really good. To detach 2 or trash 2 of the sources of the same level to protect it. It's really, really excellent like that. And also at 6k, you can make it 7 or 8k hitting over suspended guys. Really nice. That is 11 champions. On the ultimates, 4 of the Garurumon with +1 security attack, 1 of the Sagittarius mode, and 4 of the Antibody. So, this one, absolutely excellent. +1 security attack is generally the one you need to be going for in order to put added pressure onto the board. And also the restanding, you can do some risky things, like evoing up into like this, hitting security and then restanding just to get that bonus 1 check if you need it. A lot of the time that 1 check can do a lot of a difference before you evo over this to do more damage. I'll show a little combo with these later just to see how powerful these decks can be. So yeah, the restanding was also really good, and then +1 security attack, absolutely necessary. You need to have the 8 cards in hand in order to turn this effect online, so drawing is incredibly important in this deck, and also hitting at the correct times. You can't hit too early, otherwise you won't have the right cards in hand to unlock that effect. Yeah, and then going over top of these, we've got the Sagittarius mode. This was really good in one particular game. He put 2 Bukumon on the board twice, and I just returned them back to hand. It was really, really good value, and that pretty much sealed the game, the fact that he wasted so much memory on those Bukumons, and I did it to him twice in a match. It was ridiculous. And of course, going over these, we got the Antibody War Grave for these guys. Bounces are rookie to hand. Bounces are level 4 or lower to hand on evolution over a Garurumon or a stack with Antibody in its sources, which is really good to remove blockers, but also remove Kazimons, memory blockers, just annoying guys that might threaten lethal, or just getting good value out as well. And it also unsuspends when it digitals as well. So that's just really, really good value, and you can do some pretty nasty combos with it too with this Garurumon. And that is 9 of the ultimates. On to Megas. We've got 3 of the MetalGarurumon and 3 of the MetalGarurumon X Antibody. This guy, absolutely excellent. Really cheap evolution in mid to late game, because you'll have lots of cards in your hands, making this sometimes 1 or even free if you have plenty of cards in hand for an evolution. But also the when attacking effect shouldn't be underestimated, because there are a lot of effects that give Digimon on deletion effects if they don't have it inherently. Say for example, Digimon gives Digimon inherent on deletion effects, so you can easily spin back a Digimon to the bottom of the deck to maintain really good value, free removal, and turns off these on deletion effects, because if you were to run them over, or if you let them be destroyed, they would get their on deletion effects. In this way, you are removing the body without deleting them, so you won't trigger that deletion effect. It's just really, really good, and you'll be surprised just how many Digimon there are with on deletion effects simply because of their inherent effects. It's really excellent. And then going over the top of the MetalGarurumon, we have MetalGarurumon X Antibody. Super solid card, really good for extending combos, setting up a blocker if you need to go while in mid game, while also removing a guy when unsuspends is just super, super solid. It's the perfect extender for this deck. It really makes this deck just the all-rounder that it needs to be. So that's the 6 Megas. We'll go on to our level 7th, 2 Omnimon Blitz, just to clean up the game when we need it. I saw this exactly when I needed it, so 2 Omnimons, searchable with a lot of cards. It's just excellent. Excellent, excellent. For Tamers, we've got 2 Cool Boy, 2 Davis. You can potentially play more Cool Boys there is an argument for that, and I can understand it. It's just something that you might want to do more playtesting with, because Cool Boys are just a lot of value, and the +1 memory and +1 draw when you either over something of the same level is just really solid, and it builds up a lot. And I think Davis, you should run it too. Memory Tamers are really good. Once you have that Memory Tamer set up, you don't really want to be playing for Davis because you're not really playing hybrid in this deck. So super solid. You can build out the Cool Boys. We'll see how it goes. And then on the options, 2 blue memory boosts. I think these are just solid for alternative passive plays, especially when you want to wait out your turns, because you want to be drawing into the right pieces and having enough cards in your hand to unlock all those extra effects. And I think blue memory boosts do a really good job of that, especially because you can delay your memory to go for a really big push when you need it. So 2 memory boosts, just excellent cards. Ice Wall and High Speed Plug-in D. High Speed Plug-in D is a card I specifically tagged in for the Antibody matchup, because you can activate this to give your guy jamming, but it also can't be blocked. And blocking can be a really annoying thing going into, especially for Magnemon X and Antibody Alphamons. So yeah, this is a really good card just for that 1 second. Don't use it if you don't need it, but otherwise having it in hand for when you want to do a really long combo is really good. And Ice Wall there for when you need to delay a turn and protect yourself. Last cards, 2x Antibody. I think 2 is the correct amount. 3 and you start clogging your hand. Clogging your hand is really bad in this deck because you need to be building up your stack in order to be able to put the pressure on in the early and mid game. So if you have multiple of these, it can be really awkward, but having one per game I think is really solid, and having 2 cards in deck, 2 of these in the deck, can really help with that. And that's the deck. I'll show you just a little combo, just so you can get an understanding of what this deck can do. Alright, so here's how we do 6 checks with this kind of sucker, with very little memory actually being used. So you can swing with the BT9. You'll trigger all these evolution lines, so you'll get the draw of the Guru, and you'll also be 7k with the Sunomon. When attacking, you'll restand and you'll check. Now these swings are kind of risky because you are only 7k, but if you're facing a deck that you know can have a lot of weenies, like Hybrid or Armor Rush, you can definitely do these swings with a little bit of confidence. So you restood with the when attacking effect. You can then put the X Antibody underneath. You'll swing. You'll get the draw of the Guru again because it's not once per turn, and then you can trigger the effect of the X Antibody to Evo into the BT9. You'll draw for the Evo. I'll just put an extra draw here to represent that, and I'll give you an extra draw here for the Garurumon, just to show that you still have plenty of cards in your hand. The on Evo effect will trigger to restand. And then you also get the bounce effect for a level 4 or lower, just to remove like a rookie or like a memory blocker that can be kind of annoying. So now this is 2 checks because the Garurumon becomes an inherent effect, and you'll have 8 cards in hand or more, so you'll get that +1 security attack. So you do 2 more checks like that, and you still haven't spent any memory, so you can swing with your Garurumon again. This will do 2 more checks. You'll get the draw of the Garurumon, of course. Just give another card there. And of course you'll have a little bit of immunity from the X Antibody Garurumon, so you can detach these from the sources to protect your guy if you run into anything big. Checking the last 2, because you have +1 security attack. And now you haven't used any memory for these plays, so you can simply go into a MetalGarurumon. This is a 4-cost Evo, but you will gain back 2 memory because you do have 8 cards or more in hand. Potentially you could have 12 if you have drawn enough from the Garurumon. I wasn't really counting that, but that's actually kind of relevant now that I think about it, because the extra 1 memory, say if they put you on 2 and you didn't have this Davis, then that could be kind of relevant. So the MetalGarurumon will be suspended. But if you're on Davis, this was a 2 cost. which means you still have one more memory. So you can Evo up this guy into your MetalGarurumon for 1 cost over a MetalGarurumon. It will unsuspend through its Energy Evolving effect. Draw a card, of course. And it will trigger the unsuspending effect to bounce a Digimon back to hand of the lowest level. And with that, you can simply just swing for game because it's still your turn. Really, really crazy the fact that it can do those 6 hits all in one turn, as long as you don't run into anything nasty. That's why we, of course, play the high speed plug-in D. Say if you had the memory booster here, you could just pitch the memory booster for that 2 memory, and this will pay for it. Really simple. And that way, if you run into anything high DP in security, you will live those. Also, just make sure that you're not blocked, because blocking can be kind of annoying, especially when those Alphamon players give those blockers retaliation. That can be kind of nasty. If you like that deck, guys, please check out the rest of my channel. I've already got a match of this deck already on the channel if you want to check that one out. Subscribe, and also check out my TikTok. I'm doing some kind of experimental things with it. Hopefully I'm able to branch out the Digimon community into new medias. I think that'd be really fun. Subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.